On this episode of the Best Bias Podcast. No, I'm just playing. On this episode of the Best Bias Podcast, you got me talking some pop culture topics and some sports topics from the last couple of weeks. Wishing everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays out there. This is going to be a holiday edition of the Best of Bias Podcast. I'm not gonna hold you too long because I know it's well, and I always say that, but it's also holiday weekend. I want y'all to spend some time with y'all family. If you want, you can listen to the pod with your family as well. But you know the deal. We're just going to talk a little bit about some college NFL Week 15 review, 16 preview, fantasy football championship playoff weeks for people. So we'll talk a little bit about that. NBA, talk a little bit about Jonathan Majors, the case update, some breaking news just happened in that case, a big break in that case just happened. And then some New Year's film, talk a little bit about the holidays, some plans and some what do you get for gifts, maybe some girlfriend advice. Like I need some advice, you know what I'm saying? I got some advice from my friends that I need to clarify and ask you guys, the Best of Bias family as well, see if it's true for y'all. But it's gonna be a real concise episode today. And then lastly, I got something here. Google's most popular searches of 2023. So I got a couple of categories I'm gonna talk about with that. Got some shows. What If starts tomorrow, today, if you're listening on Friday. I'm recording this Thursday. What If episode 1 of season 2 comes out? So there's a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of stuff to get into. It's the Best of Bias podcast. Lydell Dinero, no guest today, but it's happy holidays to all. And I'm wishing everybody a happy holidays. You know what I'm saying? This time of year can be very lonely for some people, but I'm happy that I can reach out and be there for those who may not have people to celebrate it with. But it's happy holidays to everybody. And let's get this podcast started, shall we? It's the Best of Bias podcast. Yeah.
It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. The best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias.
What up, everybody? Merry. If you don't celebrate Christmas, happy holidays. I know I said the hell in the beginning. You guys are probably like, why is he saying that shit so much? Because I want you to have a happy one. I don't want you to have no sad holidays. You know what I'm saying? Winter officially started today. Again, I'm recording this on Wednesday. Thursday. So yeah, first day of winter. I know it's cold out there. It's cold out here in the Bay, so I know it's cold out there in those other states. You know what I mean? So bundle up, bundle up. Hopefully you got some hot chocolate bundled by the fire right now. We listen to this podcast. We episode 191, getting closer and closer to episode 200. But of course, thank you guys all for rocking with me week in and week out. New listeners, welcome. Old listeners, family members, welcome back. Man, episode 191, we getting there. Most people back home wouldn't believe we made it to 191. Look at us now. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys for clicking on the pod. I always say you could be anywhere in the world in this podcast world because everybody got a podcast nowadays. But you here with me. If you've been rocking with me since 2019, I apologize. I appreciate y'all. Bigger and better stuff coming. You know what I'm saying? You heard about all the improvements. You've seen the improvements over the years. We were in the garage, then we had like the week set up in the back, and we saw the pops just get bigger and better. So with 2024 around the corner, I just want to let y'all know bigger and better things to come. Team will be expanded. I'm telling you. Next year, I'm bringing people on, man, because we got to get this stuff going. I got so many ideas in my head and so much of a vision for this company and this Best of Bias Media company. And we just need to get the ball rolling. We've been doing the same stuff for a long time now. I've had plenty of time to brainstorm and kind of like plan stuff I want to kick into effect for you guys. And I want y'all to be a big part of that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be really upfront with you guys, letting you guys know what me and AKA got planned for the future and just put it on the forefront. You guys let us know if you're wanting to participate. You know what I'm saying? We're always looking for people to be on pods. It's been 3 or 4 years now I've been doing this, and I know a lot of people, and a lot of people know me, and you haven't stepped foot on this podcast yet. You haven't put a mic in front of your face, pause, and talk to me about some stuff, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, never stops, and we need more and more guests. We've had plenty of guests over the years. We need to do a review episode where we just go through all the guests that we've had and kind of highlight some funny moments with those guests. But I'm appreciative of all those people, all those guests that have been on. You know them, you love them. And I love them too. I appreciate everybody who stepped foot and actually graced me with their voices on this pod. You know what I mean? But enough of the mushy stuff again. I hope everybody's having a Merry Christmas. If you guys need to get some Best of Bias merch, I'll hook y'all up with that. I'm having a sale, you guys. I told you guys last week, everything $20 if you're going to pick it up, shipped $27, $28 if you want to get it shipped out to you, depending on where you live. But we're having a sale, man. Trying to move some of this merch, have it represented all across the country, all across the world. You know what I mean? I'm doing some traveling soon, so I plan to take the hats on the road as well, just kind of represent wherever I go. But again, thank you guys for always, everybody who's purchased stuff. Thank you guys for representing the Best of Bias podcast, family members, friends out there. The merch is going to keep evolving as well, because if you know me, I like to stay fit, I like to stay fresh. I like my shoes, I like my clothes. You know what I'm saying? I like to be one of one sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time I try to be, but you know how hype beats be out there. But yeah, this merch game is just going to keep evolving. Truckers are kind of in high fashion right now. I got them all day, man. Growly is ready to come to your home, so just let me know. But let's get into these sports. Let's start off with some of this college football. It was National Signing Day this week. Man, for those out of the college football playoffs, it was an exciting time of the year. You get to see what next year, you know, you have a lot of verbal commitments and a lot of people telling you they'll come to your school out of high school, transfer portal type people. I'm telling you, they don't come to your school and it's kind of promising you the world as far as, well, coaches to players and players to coaches. But National Signing Day is the time where you put pen to paper and make that commitment real. A lot of players, their dreams will be realized. Some players will start their journey. Nobody knows where they're going to end. You know, the transfer portal is wide open. So where you sign this week may not be where they end their college football careers, but it's very important, you know, because it's always competition in NCAA, especially in college football, no matter what it is, whether it's on the field, whether it's off the field in recruiting, whether it's, you know, colors, uniforms, there's always competition. And National Signing Day is another one of those, you know, measuring contests, if you will. But me personally, you know, I got to represent Oregon, talk about Oregon a little bit on the pod. We had a great signing day. I think we finished with the 5th class nationally. They said we got 22 4-star recruits and about like 8 3-star recruits, but a couple of those recruits that I know at least 4 or 5, at least 4 of the recruits that we got that are saying they're 4-star recruits, they're 5-star. And maybe with those 5-star recruits, they will push us past Texas and Steve Sarkisian and what Texas is doing over there, having a whole bunch of recruits and people flip from different schools and go to Texas. Texas is moving from Big 12 to SEC. So they're using the notoriety of Texas itself and the fact that they are moving to SEC to get more notoriety and maybe help people in the future of getting drafted out of the SEC. But me personally, I'm all about Oregon. And over the years, you know, recruiting has been cool. Mostly it's been like the intrigue of Oregon's uniforms in Eugene, but over the years, Nike has gotten bigger, recruiting has gotten better. Coaches that we've gotten have been better recruiters. We really saw it hit the road when we got Mario Cristobal. He actually unlocked stuff that we haven't seen before as far as recruiting coming to Oregon. And then after he left abruptly to go to Miami, we got Dan Lanning from Georgia. He was just known as a good recruiter, and you hear me talk about him all the time now. It's his 2nd year in Oregon. Since he's left Georgia as a defensive coordinator, he's been bringing over everything that Oregon's been missing and bringing the SEC to the Pac-12. Next year, we're going to the Big 10. So being as we had one of the highest recruiting classes in the Pac-12, and we're moving to the Big 10 now, and we're still nationally number 5, higher than any Big 10 team that's going to be in the Big 10 next year. It really proves that Oregon's on the move, and what we put on, you know, film the last couple of years, and what Danny Lanning's been preaching to the kids has been translating, and it's been perforating through the country. California, Oregon owns the recruiting trail. Oregon, of course, they own the recruiting trail. We're moving to Florida, grabbing people out of New York. We're grabbing people out of Utah. Like, we're grabbing people out of all these states so far away from Oregon. They just want to represent that and they know now with the NIL stuff, the money they can get, and the likelihood of them being noticed. We get a whole bunch of views when we are on actual TV, which was one of the points of us moving to the Big 10 in the beginning, because they get a lot more TV deals, a lot more TV money. Pac-12 is usually on the Pac-12 network, and DirecTV, I don't even think gets Pac-12 network. So it's kind of hard to watch Pac-12 games. I think now with Big Ten, they have a whole bunch of contracts with like Fox and some of the local channels that everybody gets, so it's better for us as well. And that's winning and recruiting, flipping recruits from USC, just killing everything in LA. California kids just want to be in Oregon. It's just a great recruiting trail, a great impression we're making on five-star players that are coming from different parts of the country that don't really know about Oregon, don't know about Eugene at all. Like, why would we go to Oregon? Now there's a big reason too. There's two power conferences pretty much in the NCAA, SEC, and the Big Ten. We're not in the SEC, but Big Ten is just as good. They have Ohio State, they have Michigan, Penn State, some of these stalwarts that are always talked about and are possibly making the playoffs. So Washington, Oregon, UCLA, and USC actually being added to that mix is just going to make the Big Ten that more popular. It's going to attract a lot more kids to come. Phil Knight with the NIL money is just going to keep kids coming. We got five-star kickers. We got five-star kickers, punters. Like, Oregon's going crazy in National Signing Day with the, especially with the transfer of Dylan Gabriel to start with quarterback pickup where Bo Nix left off. Then we have Dante Moore with 3 years eligibility transferring over from UCLA after getting hurt under Chip Kelly 1 year. He noticed a changing in the tide over there, and they're going to the Big Ten, and they weren't really ready to go to the Big Ten as far as team-wise, recruiting-wise. So he saw the writing on the wall and decided to, know that he needs to sit 1 year and kind of get some experience, though he was a five-star recruit coming out of high school and thought he should start right away. He did need to sit 1 year behind a veteran quarterback and kind of just learn the ropes. And then when it's his turn, he'll be already knowing the playbook and just experienced and vetted. But he didn't do that at UCLA, ended up getting hurt. Now he gets to sit behind Dylan Gabriel, who played at Oklahoma last year, had a great season himself, gets to learn behind him and still have 3 years eligibility. So again, you'll hear me talk more about Oregon as, the season kind of winds up. We still have the Fiesta Bowl and the Liberty Bowl, playing Liberty in the Fiesta Bowl. A lot of the players, I think Bucky Irving and Kyrie Jackson are both playing in the bowl game. I don't know if Bo's actually going to play. I don't know if Troy is going to play. Because again, we're playing number 23 Liberty, SPN number 8. We should be playing somebody else of higher caliber, either Georgia or Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl. But I guess the committee's mad at us for not taking Washington out of the college football playoff and not having us have to watch Washington versus Texas and Alabama versus Michigan instead of Oregon versus Texas. But whatever. I'm off that, but yeah, look out for Oregon coming up. We're going to run the Big Ten. Michigan, I don't know, man. They're not even high in the recruits this year. It looks like Jim Harbaugh, might be on his way out. It's not looking good. All those allegations he caught on the way up to to number one in the college football playoff, it might be running its toll. I'm not seeing many transfers signing with Michigan. It seems like, yeah, it maybe Jim Harbaugh out there in California and LA with Justin Herbert, which I wouldn't be mad at. My boy Justin needs a coach that can get things going. But yeah, that's all college football I got right now. I ain't gonna talk about the college football playoffs. Y'all see that when it comes up. I'll talk more about it when it gets closer. I don't know if I'll have a pod next week, maybe Wednesday after Christmas. So we'll talk a little bit about that, maybe review some stuff and some holiday stuff and stuff like that. So let's move on gracefully. Week 15. Let me pull out my predictions from last week, yo. So I want to be clear right now because last week I feel like I won y'all some money. Let's go over week 15, starting with the Thursday night game. Actually, I told y'all I wasn't gonna bet on that one or give advice on that one because the Raiders were winning 42-0 at halftime. They ended up winning 63-21 in that game, beating the Chargers in Easton Stick without Keenan Allen, without Justin Herbert, without anybody on the team. They got embarrassed, and 63 to 21 is way embarrassing. Brandon Staley and the GM got fired soon after that game, and now there's speculation that Bill Belichick or maybe even again Jim Harbaugh will come and take over in LA and coach Justin Herbert and put that team back on the right track. But yeah, first game, we had the Bengals playing the Vikings. The Bengals ended up winning 27-24. I did pick the Bengals to win, so I won y'all some money on that game. You could thank me later. I ain't gonna hold you. Next game, we had the Steelers and the Colts. I picked the Colts to win that game. The Colts did end up winning 30-13. Yeah, ever since Kenny Pickett got hurt, the Steelers just started falling off. I'm hoping I'm not making the wrong choice by starting Flock over Browning this year against the Steelers, or this week against the Steelers, because Steelers are looking pretty bad. If Gardner Minshew can put some points up on you, Browning was doing great last couple of weeks. So I think Steelers might lose next week, but I'll get to those predictions in a little bit. But Colts beat the Steelers. I did predict that right. Won y'all some more money there. Lions whooped on the Broncos, 42-17. Jared Goff threw for 5 touchdowns. If you started him in fantasy, congratulations to you. I did pick Detroit to win that game. Atlanta versus the Panthers. Panthers win 9-7. Man, the Falcons, I don't know how they still keep their head coach. They benched Desmond Ridder again for Tyler Heineke this week. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Bijan Robinson didn't get no points. I didn't watch this game that much, but I was happy the Falcons lost because they were in a 3-way tie with us and the Saints for first place, but now took that L, son. Let's see here. Did I get that one right? Yes. Oh, I know I got that one right because I'm always going to pick the Falcons to lose. Cleveland versus the let's see here. Did I get that one next? Yeah. The Bears versus the Browns. The Browns won 20-17. I picked the Browns for y'all that time. So yeah, y'all can thank me later. Packers versus the Bucks. This one I could talk a little bit more about because Baker had the game of his life. Of course, the Bucks won that game. I think Baker was the first person to have like one of 2 people to have a perfect passer rating at Lambeau. I think Aaron Rodgers was the only one. He had a 158.3 passer rating, 4 touchdowns. He lost a fumble at the beginning of the game and let the Packers score first. But after that, he was on fire, man. Chris Godwin had like 150-something yards. Rashad White continues to carry the load at running back, catching the ball at the backfield, scoring another touchdown, receiving, and rushing. Mike Evans scoring touchdowns, still proven to be the best receiver in the NFL. I don't care what nobody says. It's my bias, and I'm leaving it right here on the table. Anybody want to say something? Doing the Drake. Anybody ain't got something to say? You gonna do something? Nah, but yeah. Buccaneers did their thing, man. I'm proud of them. I didn't think they're gonna win this game. The next 2 games they had was Packers and the Jaguars, and we have the Saints and Panthers. So I thought these last 2 games before we got to the last 2 of the season were gonna be pretty tough. We handled it really well, beating the Packers. Yeah, the Saints are playing the Rams right now Thursday Night Football and losing. So I hope they lose and we can beat the Jags this week. Trevor Lawrence has a concussion, so he's not going to play. We're favored by 3 points at home. So I hope we can take this one, continue the momentum, go 8-7 and control control our own destiny, playing the Saints again and playing the Panthers again. So yes, the Bucks win, moving up to 8-7, beating the Packers 34-20. And of course I got that one right. Dolphins beating the Jets 30-0. I'm not even gonna check because I know I predicted that one right. Chiefs beating the Patriots 27-17. I did predict that one right as well. San Francisco beat the Cardinals 45-29. Brock Purdy increases and proves that Heisman MVP resume. People are saying he doesn't deserve MVP, but I mean it was him and Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott got whooped last week, so I think it's in Brock Purdy's hands right now. See how he performs against the Ravens, and we'll have to see. But I think 49ers Super Bowl favorites, and Brock Purdy is that MVP favorite in my eyes. Commanders versus the Rams. The Rams won 28-20, closer than I suspected, but I did, I believe, pick the Rams to win that game. What else do we have? Ooh. We had the Bills versus the Cowboys. Oof, this one was an ass whooping, not really expected. But the Cowboys got trounced by the Bills. I think I did pick this one for an upset. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I didn't expect it to be this bad. 31-10. Dak Prescott couldn't really do anything. James Cook and the Bills running game was able to run all over the Cowboys. I think Cook had like 2 touchdowns and 150 some yards too. It was crazy. It was crazy. He had a receiving touchdown and a rushing touchdown. It was nuts. Everybody was so high on the Cowboys, thinking that after the last couple of weeks, after this 5-in-a-row winning streak, that they were the team to beat. It's going to be them or the 49ers in the NFC after the Eagles have been losing the last couple of games. But after this ass kicking, everybody is thinking that the 49ers are firmly in control of that #1 seed in the NFC. And the Bills stay alive. Every game they need over there in the Bills organization to stay alive, because Miami's probably gonna win that division, and to stay alive in the wild card, they need to keep winning. I think they're they might be 9-6 or 8-7. I think they're 8-7 though. Let's see, the Jags lost to the Ravens 23-7. Trevor Lawrence, man, has been playing pretty bad. I saw this game, highlights of this game, he fumbled running into the red zone. He dropped the ball himself. running into the end zone. Nobody touched him. He just fumbled the ball, and as he was going in, he just dropped it, and the Ravens were able to pick it up and just drive down the field and score the other way. But the Ravens continue that that goal of trying to earn that number one seed and not buy in the AFC, and they still are the number one seed, playing the 49ers, which could be a Super Bowl preview, February preview this Sunday. I think it's Sunday night they play. And then the Eagles Seahawks are the upset of the. Let me see here. Let me just go back because I picked the Rams for y'all. I picked the Bills for an upset for y'all. I think I picked the Ravens for y'all as well. And Eagles Seahawks, I think I got this one wrong for y'all because Seahawks beat the Eagles surprisingly. Jalen Hurts 2 interceptions. It wasn't a good game, man. It just looks like they're regressing a little bit, especially since last year. Offensive and defensive coordinator for Philadelphia did leave to go to other teams, so you can kind of expect that. And offensive line, defensive line's a little bit different, so you can expect it. But I don't know. They're a tough-nosed team, hard-nosed team, and the Buccaneers are gonna probably have to play either the Cowboys or the Eagles if they make the playoffs. So I hope they don't get angry and just try to if they do make the wild card, don't take out their frustrations on us. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to be bad, stay bad. You know what I'm saying? Let us get to the second round. If the Buccaneers get to the second round, I'm not even gonna be mad if we lose in the second round. Making it there would be so beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And Baker Mayfield, bruh, I want you to do great, but this week my opponent in fantasy in the championship is starting you against me. So just put the ball in Rachaad White's hands, and hopefully you can rush the ball up and down the field and sparingly throw touchdowns. You feel me? But that's it for the last week. Hopefully I made y'all some money. Hopefully you guys use those advice that I gave you wisely. Don't spend all your money in one place. Don't go out there betting everything on that. Don't bet your house if you don't know what you're doing. Just use my words as advice. I'm not giving any straight up gambling tips. You know what I'm saying? It's not what kind of show this is, but I'm just letting y'all know who I think is gonna win. But I've been pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Last week I didn't do pretty, the week before last, I didn't do really good at all. But this week, I think I may have gotten one or two wrong. So let's try that again in week 16, shall we? Week 16, full slate of games, Christmas Eve games, Saturday games, Thursday games. But I'll give y'all my predictions, and maybe y'all can take something to the bank for us. Firstly, we got the Saints and the Rams playing right now. The Rams are winning currently, so I'm not going to predict that game, but I'm just going to predict that the Rams are probably just going to finish the Saints off because I'm going to go against the Saints every time. Who that? I don't know. Bengals versus the Steelers. Man, I thought really tough about this game. I don't know who to pick. Steelers, that defense, you can never count them out. It's going to be a rainy game. It's in Pittsburgh. Cincinnati is favored by 2 in Pittsburgh with, even with Jake Browning. But I got Cincinnati in this game. I think Cincinnati will put enough together, even though they don't have Jamar Chase. I think the Bengals will still get it together and be able to beat Pittsburgh. Their offense can't do anything. They can't move the ball. So unless they get the ball in really short field over and over and over, I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mason Rudolph are going to be able to do anything really. Buffalo Bills favored by 12 at Los Angeles. Yeah, again, the Chargers kind of gave up on their season. They punted. Everybody's sitting out. Bills are definitely going to win this. Probably by more than 12. Falcons are at home against the Colts, favored by 1 point. I got the Colts in this game. Gardner Minshew, shred them up. You know what to do. Panthers are playing the Packers. Panthers are at home. Packers favored by 4.5 points. They're trying to come back after losing last week. Jordan Love trying to rebound off of the turnover-ridden game he had last week. I got the Packers in this game, beating the Panthers, of course. Browns are playing the Texans in Texas, favored by 2.5 points in Texas. I don't think CJ Stroud is going to play due to a concussion. So I do got the Browns winning in this game. Joe Flacco out there still throwing the ball around. I'm starting him in fantasy this week, and he's ranked as the number 10 fantasy quarterback in PPR. So hopefully you can do the good thing for me and win me the championship, boy, because $900 is on the line. Detroit versus Minnesota in Minnesota. Detroit's favored by 3.5 points. I got Detroit in this game to continue that momentum. And of course, I got Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs on the Lions in my fantasy team for the championship. You see a theme here? You see a theme that I'm going with, right? Yeah. I need the Lions to win that, so I got the Lions. Commanders at New York Jets. New York Jets favored by 3. Gosh, I guess the Commanders are that bad then, huh? I'll go with the Jets. No Zach Wilson. I think Trevor Simeon's going to play. So I don't know what that means, really. Commanders are just sorry right now, and I guess they're playing for a quarterback. So they're trying to get a low pick. So I got the Jets in that game. Seahawks at Tennessee. Tennessee's at home. Will Levis is trying to win some games out there, but it's not really going well for them. Seahawks will probably win this game, but I hope they win it without Metcalf doing much because I'm playing against Metcalf in fantasy. Y'all see this theme? You see this theme here? Um, Jags are playing Tampa Bay at Tampa. Tampa's favored by 1. It's probably like 3 now since Trevor Lawrence isn't going to play due to that concussion he sustained last week against the Ravens. No Christian Kirk, no Zay Jones. So it's only Calvin Ridley out there, and I hope to God that either Carlton Davis or somebody can guard him. Just shut down one receiver, him and Evan Ingram. Let Evan Ingram do whatever he want to do, but don't let Calvin Ridley score no points. Don't let him eat us alive. Don't play 10 yards off the ball. Their pass defense is supposed to be terrible, so let's throw the ball. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, even Rachaad White, and just get some shit done. That's all I gotta say. For real, for real. But I got the Buccaneers winning in that game for sure, and covering the spread too. I'm gonna go that confident on it. Arizona plays the Bears in Chicago. Bears favored by 4 points. Bears have been playing well of late. Justin Fields is back. He's not been doing much, but that defense has been playing really good. We'll see what he can do. They can do against Kyler Murray and gang, but I think the Bears will win that game. We have Miami playing Dallas in Miami. Miami's favored by 1.5. I'm hoping Tyreek can come back for this game because I got him on my fantasy team. Yes. Let's see. I think Miami will win this game, even though Dallas is probably on a revenge tour and trying to make it up for last week's loss to the Buffalo Bills. But that's what happens when you play good teams. You know, Cowboys have on the road not played over 500 teams very well. So this is going to be another test for them to see if they can actually get it done and beat Miami. And then Miami is going to be another test for them because they're kind of in the same boat. They're not really good at beating teams over 500, but they smack teams that are under 500. So we'll see if they can, make amends for that, and maybe Tua can shut up some of these doubters who think that without Tyreek Hill, he's not nothing. But I think Tyreek Hill is going to be back, so I don't think they'll be able to, judge that at this game. Then what else we got? New England at Broncos. I got the Broncos in this game. New England can't score nothing. Broncos are favored by 6.5 points. That's crazy. Raiders at home against the Raiders are at the Chiefs. Chiefs are at home against the Raiders, favored by 10 points. Yeah, I think they're going to cover that and win. Giants are playing at Philadelphia. Philadelphia is favored by 12 points. Yes, they're on a revenge tour as well after losing last week to Philadelphia or to the Seattle Seahawks. And everybody talking mess about them, thinking they can't win and they're not serious and they're not going to get back to the Super Bowl. So I think Jalen Hurts and Ganger have something to prove, and they're going to prove it. Philadelphia is playing Baltimore, which is probably the game of the week. 49ers are favored by 5.5 points. Baltimore, 49ers are at home. Baltimore comes in. I don't know, man. I've seen some shaky moments with the Ravens offense when they play good defenses, but Lamar might be the X factor. But again, the linebackers on the 49ers can run sideline to sideline and maybe be able to keep up with Lamar and contain them from running as much. Yeah. Who knows? I got the 49ers in this game, though. I think they continued on their road to the number 1 seed in the NFC. They already clinched, but I think they'll probably clinch the number 1 seed soon. But I got the 49ers in that game. So to review everything, I think that's all the games, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's all the games. That's all the games. Yeah. So I got the Rams over the Saints. Well, they're playing already, so that don't count. But I got the Bengals in Pittsburgh over the Steelers. I got Buffalo in LA over the Chargers. I got Indianapolis Colts in Atlanta over the Falcons. I got Green Bay in Carolina against the Panthers. I got Cleveland Browns in Houston against the Texans. I got Detroit in Minnesota against the Vikings. I got the Jets at home against Washington. I got the Seahawks in Tennessee. I got Tampa Bay at home against the Jags. I got the Bears at home against Arizona. I got Miami at home against Dallas. I got the Broncos at home against the Patriots. Kansas City at home against the Raiders. Philadelphia at home against the Giants. And the 49ers at home against the Baltimore Ravens. So take that advice. Do with it as you will. Do with it as you will. That's a wheel. If you guys want some money again, drop my cash up there, aka let them know where to find me at. Drop a little dough right there. It's Christmas time, season of giving. So if you want to give me a little, or is that Thanksgiving? I don't know. But hey, well, season of giving, I guess it's the holiday season, and Thanksgiving is the holiday of giving because it's Thanksgiving. I don't know. Whatever, bruh. If you guys make some money, rake me off a little something. Nah, but let's move into fantasy because I've been waiting to talk to y'all about this fantasy football. Invitational 2023 has gotten to the championship, y'all. And guess who's in that thing? It's your boy. I made it. I made it. We here. Me and K-Slag. But firstly, let me tell y'all about the semifinal because it was a good one. In the semifinal, we had me versus Cam's Catering. I was able to win 133 to 109. And K-Swag 27 was playing Hot Boys 105 to 94. Hot Boys with the 2 seed, but fell to the 3 seed. And I was playing the 5 seed in Cam's Catering. But that all has came down to today or this week. We got K-Swag versus me in the championship game. 2 squads are destined for the championship, destined for greatness. You know what I'm saying? From season 1, we had one team that started at the bottom and moved his way up to the top. Then we had one team that was sitting up there in the top 4 for the whole season with a squad that's loaded. And we're going to see who can actually, you know, get it off the ground, man. I got Joe Flacco at my quarterback starting against Houston. Then I have A.J. Brown and Tyreek Hill at the receiver positions, Jahmyr Gibbs, Rashad White at running back. Then I have Sam Laporta at my tight end. For flex, I got Jonathan Taylor. My kicker is Moody from the 49ers. And then my defense, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm playing against Baker Mayfield. I'm playing against Calvin Ridley. And who else is his other receiver? I always forget. Oh, DK Metcalf. Then he started Chandler from the Vikings, as well as who's his other running back? Who is your other running back, fella? Oh, Tony Pollard. Then you started at receiver. We have Kyle's team, or a tight end. He has TJ Hawkinson with a flex of Higgins. And then at his kicker spot, he has McManus from the Jaguars, I believe. And then at his defense, he's taking Denver against the Patriots. So he has a good squad. Right now, the projections are 59 to 31. So we're going to see what happens, man. I'm hoping the team that I have on paper is really stacked, but who knows? Anything could happen. And those are the guys that are usually scoring a whole bunch of points. So I'm just hoping to put up as many points as possible and make this last game really good, man. Again, it's for the big shebang. $900 on the line. Second place gets 200. Third place gets their money back. First place gets the first ever Best of Bias Fantasy Football Championship belt with their name etched in it with 2023. So it's gonna be a great season, a great championship. So I'm kind of hoping to bring home the trophy and have the big belt hoisted around my neck and be able to come back to the pod and let y'all know how it went down. Thursday, nobody has anybody playing. So we really getting started. I think he took out all his players that were playing Saturday. So it really starts on Sunday. For a lot of people who only made like 4 teams in the playoffs or something like that, or even, I don't know what they did, but some people have semifinals today. Or this week, we're doing finals this week. So it's gonna be crazy. Shout out K-Swag. It's gonna be a battle. We both got teams that is crazy, and I hope we, come out. We're both gonna come out with at least $200, $100 profit, getting your money back plus that 100. But somebody's gonna win that 900. Is gonna be happy for this holiday season. So, woo! Excuse me, guys. I peeked on that part. My bad. May the best man win. And let's get to it, man. Not too much talking on that. I don't want to jinx myself, but I'm feeling kind of confident. I know you're feeling confident as well, K-Swag. So again, may the best man win. And okay, now we get into some pop culture. Let's move off the sports a little bit, talk a little bit about pop culture. Oh, no. I'm tripping. After fantasy, talk about a little about the NBA. Let's do a little rapid fire though. My Nuggets, I'm gonna touch on my Nuggets. We 19-10 right now. We're looking good. Finally, fully healthy. We missed Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, even KCP for a number of games due to different injuries. KCP concussion, Aaron Gordon heel, ankle for Jamal Murray, and his hamstring early in the season. So we were up and down, winning some games, losing some games we should have won, yada, yada, yada. But now that we're all back together, our starting 5 is able to play, and we can swap out 5 for 5 and get our bench unit some run, have Jamal run with the second unit, have Reggie Jackson actually be with the second unit instead of having to start, and have the interchangeable pieces of Peyton Watson, Christian Brown, Justin Holiday, Zeke Naji, DeAndre Jordan, Julian Strother, of course, just a bunch of different people to go with our starting five that we already have from our championship core, have us looking really good. Though Jokic isn't really putting up the MVP numbers that he put up the last couple of years. I think that's less his interest this year. Of course, it's been less his interest the last couple of years. But now it's more so after he won MVP of the finals, won back-to-back MVPs. That's somebody else's to chase. I mean, he's going to play his game, chase championships, and if the MVPs come along, then they do. That what was taken out of him last year during the whole who was better, him or Embiid debacle, I think that kind of rubbed him the wrong way, and he kind of gave up on trying to win the MVP because the media and the stuff that he's doing um, in the media, he doesn't really like all that. So I commend him for just playing his game this year, not getting too caught up in the MVP race. If people decide that he should win MVP, I think he should win MVP just for the way he makes everybody around him better, and the way that he increases people around him skills, not only his skills. So I think that should be the definition of MVP. But you know what I'm saying? There is voter fatigue, and the Embiid is on an incredible tear right now. He had 51 and 12 against the what do they call it? The Western Conference leading Timberwolves right now. They're 20 and 6. So he did some work. You know, they try to deploy the Twin Towers, which is Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns against anybody that has a good center. But it didn't work against Embiid. Again, he had 51 points, he had 12 rebounds, though he shot like 17 to 18 free throws. I don't know how he gets that many free throws. And Jokic, we went through a whole half with no free throws against the Raptors the other day. It is kind of crazy. You can let this man put up 40 points off of like 20 points in free throws, and you praise the ground he walks on. But Jokic will have 36 points, 20 rebounds, and like 9 assists with like 2 free throws, and it just gets blinked over like it's another game. But Embiid's God. But Embiid has been on a tear. I think he scored at least 30 points in every game he's played in this season. Him and Maxey going crazy out there for Philadelphia. They're going to give any team in the East a run for their money. Celtics, the Bucks, whoever is supposed to be leading the Eastern Conference right now. Embiid and Maxey are on a tear, and all those utility pieces, Oubre, who else they got? They got Tobias Harris. A bunch of these other role players that can step up and support them, they could be really good in the East. And I commend them for that. And I talked a little about the Wolves. They've been doing great. Anthony Edwards, again, Karl Anthony Towns, kind of falling back and being the B player to Anthony Edwards A. Gobert is providing some good defense and taking the pressure off of Karl Anthony Towns to be that defender and can do the dirty work and let Karl Anthony Towns be that perimeter mid-range guy that he wants to be. The guards that they have are able to guard other people's superstar guards, Jaden McDaniels and Nicholas Anderson, whatever his name is. And they still got the wily vet, Mike Conley. So they're able to do their thing out there. And just kind of hold it down. They're doing great right now, but you know, they're starting to lose some games. Coming back down to, you know, the Nuggets 19 and 10, 20 and 6 is kind of close to that. We played more games. We played opening day, but we'll see. We'll see if they can handle it because this prosperity is new to them. So I think they'll fall down sooner than later. But the Lakers, though, since winning that in-season tournament, they've gone 1-4 and lost some pretty bad teams. I don't know what happened. I think maybe it drained them. Maybe they went too hard. They did go undefeated in that tournament, lowered their banner the other day and lost that day. So I don't know what's going on over there. I thought they were supposed to be all the rage, and after that tournament, they're in full go mode, and it's a preview of what they could do in the playoffs and what they could be. And if they're that, then they're Super Bowl, NBA Finals like favorites and shit like that. It's interesting for that showing and that, you know, in the spotlight they showed up, but when it comes down to the rest of the season and games that they should be winning and performances they should be excelling in, it's not happening. Again, they shouldn't need LeBron James every game to put up 30 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists in order to win the game. Anthony Davis should be doing everything he's doing in the in-season tournament, as well as contributing and helping the team. I mean, he is. I guess you do need other people to step up as well. It's not always Anthony Davis's fault, but something's got to give. You shouldn't be going 1-5, 1-4 since the in-season tournament, and holding your hats on beating the Pacers in an in-season tournament championships. You know what I mean? So we'll see what they get better. I think they play the Mavericks today, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see how that goes for them. And then he returned from his 25-game suspension, came back against Zion out of all people, which is kind of crazy. The number 1 and number 2 picks in his draft went out and battled. The Pelicans were winning by a big margin at one point in the game, but it's that spirit that he gives the Memphis Grizzlies. They showed a glimpse of what that team could be the rest of the year. They're 7-19 now, but with Ja Morant on the squad, it gives them a chance to win every night because you never know what he's going to do. He went for 13, 5, and 8 the other night against the Pelicans and had a buzzer beater to win the game for him, showing that with him in the lineup, with his talent, his explosiveness, his electricity, the sky's the limit for the Memphis Grizzlies for the future. And when they get all their players back, maybe they can make a run in the playoffs this year. But hopefully he keeps his act on right. But it was great to see. It was great to see him back. The NBA needs it. I miss seeing those highlights all over my timeline every day, every week. But yeah, man, it's been quiet. Yeah, since he was gone, as far as guards goes, a lot of Wembanyama talk, a lot of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander talk, but people kind of forgot. I feel like that Ja Morant's gonna come back and do his thing, and I kind of forgot. I'm not gonna even lie about how bouncy he was. Watching some highlights from last year, him dunking on people. Good Lord, it's gonna be a great season. The NBA, they're killing it, man. The in-season tournament has been proven to be a success. They still got the play-in tournament. And we still got a lot of season left. The championship usually is until April. So we're about 25 games in now, or more than that. Shit, we're 19-10. That's 29 games in for us. So, yep. NBA's in full swing. Hope your favorite team, the Warriors. Oh, man. The Warriors are just struggling right now. Draymond's suspension. They finalized the suspension 3 weeks for him. They did have a big game against the Celtics the other day. Steph Curry's a freaking monster. The other team may be going through struggles. They still got that monster to keep them in games every week. I think they're in like 11th place right now. But if they get their shit together when Draymond comes back, if he has his head on straight, they can make a push and still have a great, standings. Last year they just missed, I think, they're in the play-in last year, I believe. No. Did they? No, because they weren't the 8th seed. They were in the set because the Lakers were the 8th seed, so they were the 6th seed. So I think they barely missed having to play in the play-in tournament. So this year that may be their path, but I think they have the requisite talent to make it out of that and beat whoever's in there. So as long as they keep their head on straight, stay healthy, and keep pushing, man, I think they're going to be able to be successful. At least get an 8th seed, at least get a 7th seed, because a lot of these teams are getting it together. It's 82 games in the season, and it's really early still. So I have hope for, watching the Lakers, just watching the Warriors for so many years, having so many friends and family that are Warriors fans. I know what they can do. They may be playing bad right now, but they got that boy Steph Curry. They still got Klay Thompson. He's healthy. Again, when Draymond comes back, and the young boys are stepping up. Once they, get to the playoffs or a play, and they'll have that experience on them, and I think they'll be able to do what it takes to, get them to the playoffs and do it, at least win one game in the playoffs, at least one. But yeah, that's it on the sports, bro. Almost passed the basketball. I'm sorry, I almost passed it on y'all, but good shit. But yeah, let's get some pop culture in. Hopefully, again, I just want to take a break to hopefully everybody's having a happy holiday. Hopefully everybody's going to have a happy holiday. I just wanted to ask a question really quickly, man. I asked my friends just the other day, what are they getting their girlfriends for? What do their girlfriends ask for Christmas? Did they ask for anything? Did they hint that they wanted anything? And they're all like, nah, she didn't ask for anything. My girlfriend and me have been together for so long. Once you're together for so long, your time and this is just a gift. And that's bullshit. I call bullshit. Ladies out there, even if you were with your significant other for a long time, don't you expect a little something? I know it's not everything receiving a gift, but I know down in your heart, you expect a little something. A little something you've been eyeing. You've been eyeing them skims at the store and been dropping hints to the dude all year. You know you want some skims, you know what I'm saying? You know your girl told you that. But I know. Everybody's macho. They run the household. My girl is so happy with me, she would never go out of her way to ask me for something expensive. Blah, 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 blah. But me personally, it's not like that for me. Me personally, Christmas and holidays, of course, you say time spent is more so something that is better than any gift that could be given. Anything monetarily, anything material. But me personally, I do like to see the happiness on my girl's face when she does get a gift. There's something that she's been wanting. So I do ask her what she wants and what she likes. And is that a bad thing? Listeners, you tell me. I know it could be kind of superficial if somebody just comes up and be like, "Oh, I want this," and if you don't get it for me, and on Christmas it's not there, I'm gonna be upset about it. It's not like that at all. Me personally, for Christmas, I've been fortunate enough to get things from my significant others, from my families, just from people in general. So I always want to, even if I don't receive anything myself, I like to give back and just see the light in somebody's eyes if I'm able to do something like that. Especially for my girl. She's been working hard all year. She been breaking her back, spending her money, paying bills. So it's like, okay, let me get you a little something, to celebrate you. To take a little time to show that I appreciate all the work that you've been doing, though it may not have been directly, you've been better in yourself and hasn't been doing anything exactly necessarily directly for me. I still want to show that I see you and I'm proud of you and you deserve this because, hey, everybody deserves a reward for working hard and being so giving and caring to other people every now and then. So I want to reward people for that. People in my life that were significant to me, people in my life that helped me through hard times. This year, again, was one of the hardest times in my life. Went through that cancer. Uh, was able to go through the chemo treatments, able to be in remission, but without the support of my family, my girlfriend, my friends, and all the people around me, I don't know if I would have been able to do it. If I didn't have my sister and my mom specifically to help with the doctor's appointments, help schedule stuff, help get the paperwork done. I don't want to get emotional when I'm saying this, but I would have died, yo. I definitely would have not been here with you guys today. Um, it was a lot. I mean, I definitely would have did what I had to do to try to, beat the cancer and stay alive and stuff like that. But the amount of stuff and craziness and driving and down the freeway and hospital changes due to not taking my insurance and just, helping me with food and bringing me Gatorades and cooking breakfast and coming to check on me when I was nauseated, all that stuff, man, I cannot thank them enough. I cannot say it in words how much I appreciate everything and all the steps, all the doctors, all the nurses that were able to, not only help me, but just be accepting of my mood swings, just my thought process, just everything that I did to cope. I just thank everybody for being there and being able to deal with it, man. And this holiday, I really do want to give back and show that I really do appreciate it. People are gonna see me really not really in the flesh for the first time in a while, but actually see me healthy for the first time in a while, vibrant, just vibing with everybody, knowing my future, and just kind of knowing that it's gonna be brighter out there, knocking on wood that we're gonna fight this. And if it ever does come back, I'm secure in just like life to where I don't know. A lot of people aren't lucky enough to be in the position I was in, given my age and just given the situation I was in, the help, the treatment, the survival rate of the cancer that I had. It's just a lot of people weren't getting it, don't get as lucky as I got. So I just want to show that I'm grateful. I might have been off on a tangent there. I know that I'm talking about something that I didn't start with, but the holidays, people are thankful for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what I was trying to say. It gets deeper than getting people gifts. You know what I'm saying? People don't, you shouldn't be pressed to get people gifts for no reason, blah, blah, blah. But me, though I'm not super rich and don't have a whole bunch of money, you know what I'm saying? I still feel like I should do a little something that shows my appreciation. And then what I am able to give, I hope they are happy about it. And they can take a load off and they don't have to break their pockets. You know what I'm saying? My mom took a month off of work to go and take me to the hospital and do things for me. So it'd be remiss of me. It'll be definitely, it would seem ungrateful for me not to give back in some kind of way, though monetarily, isn't gonna, say thank you more than a hug or just my love in general. But I feel like it's this stuff that I gotta do during the holiday. Oh, I don't know. That's just me. And I expect nothing from nobody. From my significant other, because this is where we started with the significant other getting gifts and stuff like that. If she gets me something, if they get me something, it's all good. If not, do what you can. You know what I'm saying? But I would like to know first before I go all out on you and you don't give me nothing in return, so I know my budget. But you know what I'm saying? I still want to make sure let everybody know that I appreciate them. And thank you for being here with me, being in my life, and man, just supporting me for all the time, especially you guys. I want to give you guys a little something as well. So I got to get on here and just, thank you guys as well. Hope you guys' holidays are great. But just let me know, really though. Is your girlfriend or your boyfriend asking for certain gifts taboo, or do you just get stuff and surprise them? I'm terrible at surprises, but I do love the holiday, man. It's just when gifts get involved, it gets kind of awkward sometimes, it gets kind of awkward. Especially when yeah. I grew up in the household where we didn't really go to our family's house and open gifts in the morning with other people because shit gets kind of wild when you don't get as much as your either a friend or your family member, and it's hard for the parents to sometimes go out and get all the stuff and support their families. There was times where I didn't get to have everything I wanted for Christmas, and my mom was really sad about it and really sad about not being able to provide. And I kind of grew to learn that Christmas was more than gifts, because I really hurt her to know that she couldn't get us gifts one Christmas for Christmas, I guess you can say. But then as I grew up, I started to like value the presents less and expect stuff from people less, and just let people know that it's not really that important for me to get the gifts, you know what I'm saying? But make that macaroni and cheese and that sweet potato pie though. You know what I'm saying? That there can make up for a lot of gifts. But yeah, man, I know how it is, especially me being an adult now monetarily. Shit gets tight and it's tough to get out there and just give stuff to people, especially when stuff is expensive as it is now. But again, just go out, love somebody, hug somebody, invite somebody to a meal, get on the game, play somebody on the video games, Call of Duty, Fortnite, whatever you play, hop on the game with somebody, because you never know what they're going through in the holidays. And those kind words, those kind gestures can go a long way. You know what I'm saying? It's cold out. Me personally, I get depressed when it's cold out. So reach out, communicate with somebody this holiday season. Today's the first day of winter. Go reach out to somebody now and see how they're doing, man. And let me know again about the significant others, man, because I got me some stuff already. I did my shopping. I ain't no late shopper. But why does it seem so taboo when I ask my group chat and the fellas if their girlfriends ask for stuff? Because I know they lying to me. I know they lied to me. Guys, does it make you seem like a bitch if you get your girlfriend exactly what they want for Christmas? If it's expensive, like, because that reaction, I didn't expect it. Just let me know in the comments or somewhere else. But let's get into this pop culture. I'm definitely about to do dual cameras right now. I definitely do, because this topic right here, I'm moving into this pop culture. I'm moving into this news about Jonathan Majors, yo. They did Jonathan Majors super dirty, yo. They found him guilty of third-degree assault and harassment, yo. We saw the video. We saw the video of him running away from her. We saw the video. We saw everything that was going on. We saw the messages. We heard the story we heard the confession from the driver. We saw that, he was locked out of the apartment. He had to break into the apartment to get inside, where she was drunk and passed out, where the injuries were caused from the fall. Yet still, Jonathan Majors gets fired from Disney, from Marvel, from Kang, just for him being technically guilty of putting her back in the car after they were arguing and she was getting aggressive, trying to put her back in the car, and she ends up hitting her head. That's assault, third-degree assault. He was trying to run for his life. She's abusive. She's a drunk. How does he get in trouble for what's going on here? It's kind of weird to me. It kind of seems like he was blackballed. And that's a pun intended, because a lot of actors in Marvel, Robert Downey Jr., Jeremy Renner, a couple of other people have had legal troubles, and they've been hired after the fact. So it's kind of weird how somebody so significant as Kang, that you're setting up your whole series on, is just that easily cut off. And you're thinking about dropping the character based on something that, I don't know. I think the public pressure and it being Disney might have caused them to act hastefully. Maybe they've been thinking about doing it, because I've heard rumors of them changing their direction and going with Doctor Doom instead of Kang for a long time. So maybe they're planning on doing it for a while. And just after they got the news that he was guilty, they just cut ties right away. But it's wrong. I think it's wrong for sure. Like, now, how are you going to trust? Like, I mean, you know how Black Twitter works now. So how's any other Black actor going to try to take Kang now, after Marvel treated this Black man so wildly? You know what I mean? Like, they didn't even give him a chance to appeal. They just cut him right away. Like you could have delayed the filming for a little bit. We have these other characters coming out. We have these other movies that were proposed. They were talking about already doing a street level Spider-Man film for Spider-Man 4 with Daredevil and a whole bunch of other people in it that Jessica Jones and a whole bunch of other people that are going to actually help keep that going. I heard there's going to be a couple of, they got Deadpool next year. You got Echo, a whole bunch of stuff coming out, a whole bunch of time for this to clear up before you decided. But they went ahead and just made the decision to go ahead and fire him. And that's kind of crazy to me. That's kind of crazy. Me personally, if they're gonna go ahead and fire him, I get it. They have to watch their backs, but it is kind of shady still to do so. He was technically really, the more and more I hear about the case, it seems like he was really technically guilty just because they're in New York, I think it was. And they have really, 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 really strict domestic violence standings or standards. Though he called the police on her during the domestic violence situation in the past, he was still arrested and gotten in trouble. It's just backwards. It's just kind of like doesn't make any sense. And he's facing up to a year in jail and probation for this third-degree assault charge. Yet he's probably still going to get probation, and yet I don't know. It's just weird. The testimony from the driver, the phone calls, just saying that he wants her to be a better person. I get being the Coretta Scott and the Michelle Obama thing is kind of deep and harsh, but it just to me sounded like he wanted her to act right. You're not to go out in public and get drunk and act wild because you're representing their family in the long run. Jonathan Majors in the long run, and he's a monolith, though either good or bad for the Black community. And the stuff that he's doing good stuff for the Black community, trying to move the Black community forward. And her acting the way she's acting, doing all the stuff that she's doing, getting drunk, causing fights, and acting disruptive, is going to put a damper in his career, as it did. Now they're not together, and it still put a dampering on his career. So it's just wild. It's just wild to me. We saw the video of him running from her and her trying to get him back, like trying to hit him and stuff. So we thought all that evidence we had for Jonathan Majors would help prove that he was innocent, but I guess they didn't see it that way. They felt that just because he was putting her back in the car and she hit her head on the way in the car, that was assault. And him talking about text messaging her, telling her she should act right and needs to act like Coretta Scott and stuff like that was harassment. It's just weird to me. I just feel like they just didn't want him to be Kang anymore, and any little thing they're ready to just let him go. Man, the acting itself should have spoke for itself. Victor Timely, Kang the Conqueror, the way he did in Ant-Man Quantumania, even though they made him hella sorry and get beat by Ant-Man hella fast, I still think he did a great job, and I was looking forward to him to being all the variants. Though, with the ending of Loki, they can make Kang still be in the show and in the movies and in all of the MCU, just have a different person play Kang as a variant, because we had different variants of Loki, we had different variants of other characters as well that look completely different from the character. So why can't we just do that with Kang and cast another actor? Then again, it's going to be tough, man. Immediately after the case, for a lot of Black actors to want to take that role because they didn't give Jonathan Majors a chance. So now they're going to be like, okay, if I do something, I get in this role and set myself up for the future. If I do anything that's not Disney-like or something they deem as not Disney, they can just fire me and get rid of me at any jump. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna go a different race with Kang. I don't know if they're gonna drop them all together. Me personally, I think it's gonna bring in that Doom arc. The Doom arc makes the most sense, and they made the decision and they stood on it. I don't think there's no going back now. You can't go back and hire him after the fact, after this spectacle. And I think the justice system over there did let him down, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's been a run on powerful Black men getting taken down. Some deserved it. Some deserved it, but it just seems like yeah, it can happen to anybody. We see it, and just take the warnings. People think that, it's Hollywood, I'm rich and famous, it won't happen to me. But obviously it can happen to anybody. It happened to Jonathan Majors. He lost everything. No more Kang, no more roles. Who knows? A lot of people dropped him already. It's going to take some work to get his career back. And maybe he has to start over there with Tyler Perry. I don't know what it is, but this verdict and this judgment and this call by Marvel to fire him directly is just wild. Let me know how you guys feel. Let me know in the comments down below, because this is some bullshit, yo. everything was set up perfectly. And I mean, there's a whole bunch of rumors and a whole bunch of bullshit that they're trying to put in now, just like little fixer-uppers we saw in the Marvels that they're trying to bring the X-Men in. X-Men 97 is supposed to drop. New leaders of the X-Men or of the Avengers, Tobey Maguire and Logan. And there's a whole bunch of corrective action they're going to take to try to make the MCU better, but I don't know. Maybe Kevin Feige needs to spread around the power. Maybe he should get like a person that runs it, kind of like they do over there in DC. But I don't know. We haven't even seen DCU yet, so I can't even speak on that. But MCU needs to step it up. They really do. They really do. They really do, because that's wild. That's wild. But that's all the real pop culture I have for today. But I did want to talk to y'all since it's almost the new year. Shout out to Jonathan Majors, though. Keep your heads, dog. I'm still gonna support you and watch whatever you're in, dog. Like, unless there's some crazy ass evidence come out that really proved that you was beating her up. If you was, that was nuts. I mean, you did get pled guilty or got the verdict was guilty. So I guess you can't say that it wasn't real, but based on the evidence, yo, we know what's real and what's not. And I wish the best for Megan Good and Jonathan Majors, and I hope they make it out of it and keep their career trajectory. I know it's probably plateauing at this point. Hopefully it doesn't fall off a cliff, and hopefully you can just build it back up. But anyways, 2023 was a crazy year. Do you agree? I think it was crazy. Crazy ass shit got popular. Crazy memes got popular. Crazy artists got popular. Crazy topics got popular. Crazy music came out. Popular music came out. Good music came out. It was just a whirlwind of a year, man. And I'm glad to be here still. I'm glad to have you guys here still. Though it was a crazy ass year, we do have to, it's coming to a close, and we're hoping that 2024 can be that much more better. Not much more better. Damn, where's my grammar at? That much better for everybody. I'm wishing you guys a great 2024. I'm hoping the world gets better in 2024. 2023 has been full with bullshit. The past 2020 through 2022 is bullshit with COVID. I'm really trying to get back to that 2019, 2020 vibes, you know what I'm saying? To where everything was cool, everybody was still loving each other, and the world actually circulated and was able to flow freely. I know everything wasn't perfect, but I mean, shit, 2023, shit is just going backwards, sideways, up, down, 360, 361. By the way, since I said 361, shout out Nikola Jokic for coming out with his own signature shoe, leaving Nike and joining 361 brand that had Aaron Gordon, Spencer Dinwiddie. It's a Chinese brand, giving him his own shoe. He debuted against Toronto this past game. Shout out Nikola. He's doing a hotels.com commercials. He's putting himself really out there. I think Aaron Gordon helped get Jokic over there to that shoe brand, but they look kind of cool, man. The low tops look cool. I'm gonna copy me a pair once they're available for sure. You know me, I'm gonna find me a pair of Jokic shoes. I got me some Sabrinas. I'm gonna support Jokic. Jamal come out some New Balances. I'm gonna grab those too. But I'll be remiss if I didn't mention that. Shout out Jokic on the new shoe deal. Shout out 361 for grabbing the boy. He probably got one of the most influential basketball players of your time. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna notice, man. This guy is funny. He's a great guy, and this is just further helps him get on the forefront of the NBA and help him be the face of the NBA. Go watch that hotels.com commercial with him, Little Pony, and Peyton Watson. Go watch that. But anyways, this year it's been crazy. So I pulled a list. I saw it on Instagram, a list of the top Google searches of 2023. So I wanted to share a couple of those with you. I got a couple of different categories before we get up out of here and see how y'all feel about them. Let me see. Let's start with the musicians. The most popular and searched musicians of 2023. Number 1 was Jason Aldean. Coming in at number 2 was Ice Spice. Number 3, we had Oliver Anthony. I don't know who that is. Number 4, we had Peso Pluma. And number 5, we had Joe Jonas. Why? Maybe because he got a divorce. I think he did get a divorce from his wife, the lady from Game of Thrones. So maybe that's why he was searched. But that's interesting. Interesting musicians there. Jason Aldean, Ice Spice, Oliver Anthony, Peso Pluma, and Joe Jonas. The most popular, well, the most searched people 2023, we have DeMar Hamlin at number 1, Jeremy Renner number 2, Travis Kelce number 3, Tucker Carlson number 4, and Lil Tay number 5. DeMar Hamlin It must have been in January, like really early 2023. For him to be the most searched of 2023 is kind of nuts because it's a whole nother football season and people are still searching DeMar Hamlin. That's crazy. But it's good to see he's still out there and playing football. Because we did experience some crazy shit when we saw him go down on the field, man. So prayers up to DeMar Hamlin. Jeremy Renner, some shit happened to him too. He got his legs ran over by a snowplow. So yeah, he was searched a lot. Travis Kelce with the whole Taylor Swift debacle, him dating her. People were probably searching Travis Kelce for the first time, all the Swifties. So there's probably an increase in that. Tucker Carlson got fired from was it CNN or Fox? One of those, wherever he's at. I'm not the political guy, so I don't know where he was at. But Tucker Carlson got fired, so people are probably looking that up. And Lil Tay, the little Asian girl, popular back in the day for flexing a whole bunch of money. Everybody came out and said all that shit was fake. Her brother put her up to it to try to infiltrate hip hop culture. But people were saying she died. So everybody was looking that up to see if that was true. And it came out she really didn't die. So I think it was another publicity stunt by Lil Tay and her family to try to get her popping again. But I mean, got her searched. And this happened towards the end of the year. So for her to make number 5, that was really impressive. Shoot, people cared about Lil Tay back in the day. TV shows, top 5. We had The Last of Us at number 1. Ginny and Georgia, never heard of it. Number 2. Queen Charlotte, A Bridgerton Story, number 3. Daisy Jones, number 4. And Wednesday, number 5. So I heard of The Last of Us. Last of Us was great. Shout out Pedro Pascal. And shout out PlayStation for having a great adaptation. Can't wait for season 2 to come out. Ginny and Georgia, never heard of it. Queen Charlotte, never heard of it. Daisy Jones. Maybe you guys have heard of these shows, but I haven't heard of it. Wednesday, it was great too. Very influential. Shout out Kalia was Wednesday out at Comic-Con this year, LA Comic-Con. But it was very influential. Everybody loved Wednesday when it first came out, and it proliferated through the pop culture waves for a long time. I know the Funko Pop, I got her up there if you guys can see him pointing right there. Bam. Sorry, audio listeners, but yeah, it was popping. I mean, and her pop was going for like $50-$60 when it first came out. Just a common. It was nuts. So yeah, movie wise, top 5, we have Barbie at number 1, Oppenheimer at number 2. Them two killed the box office this year, and yeah, they're highly touted, even though it's pretty recent as well. It's kind of interesting to see these fairly recent things being the number 1 and 2 search things movies of all year. But Sound of Freedom came in at number 3. Everything Everywhere All at Once did have the movie industry in a chokehold for a while, and then Guardians of the Galaxy 3 came in at number 5. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was the return of supposedly the really good MCU movies after Quantumania was pretty bad. But me personally, it was cool. It was just really mid as far as the story went, because it didn't really push phase 5 along at all. It was really sad, really, really sad. And knowing that all the characters were kind of dissolving and not gonna be around afterwards kind of just led up to it made it meh. Number 1 was my favorite, really. Number 2, I liked, but not as much as 1. And number 3, I would say is my least favorite. They nerfed Adam Warlock a lot. Just the fact that everybody's still alive, but just breaking up and just not gonna be in it anymore is just kind of weird. I don't really like it that much, but it was cool. The memes, top 5 memes of the year, the Kevin James, that was fairly recent too, but everybody was posting that. Ohio Police Girl, I don't really know that one. The folding chair from that Mississippi fight. Dude smacked the lady in the head with the chair. The Smurf cat, don't know that one. And the Waffle House new hire. New host, I think it was. But yeah, if you guys know those memes, holla at me. I know the Kevin James one, but the folding chair, and I know the folding chair as well, but everything else, I don't really know. Games, top games of 2023, top search games. Hogwarts Legacy, that's the Harry Potter game. Connections, not too sure about that. Baldur's Gate 3, I think that won Game of the Year on IGN. Starfield and Diablo 4. Yep, sounds about right to me. All those games I hear about a lot in the gamer sphere. And they talk about more games on the pod too. So I'll play a lot of Warzone with the homies. I got Spider-Man 2, Hogwarts Legacy. I got a bunch of games that I play and don't talk about. Check me out on streaming, PlayStation, Lydell Dinero 22, on Xbox, Skitty Grub 1. Check me out. Top athletes of 2023 that was searched. DeMar Hamlin again. Travis Kelce again. Brock Purdy at number 3, Lamar Jackson number 4, and Jalen Hurts at number 5. DeMar Hamlin again from seeing if he was healthy from that cardiac arrest event. Travis Kelce can be explained by that Taylor Swift again, Brock Purdy. Just Brock Purdy all year has been scrutinized either from being really good or being really bad or just how much money he's making and just a whole bunch of stuff. So people have been searching him all year for that. Lamar Jackson, at the beginning of the year, nobody knew if he was going to sign. So people were probably searching him a lot at the beginning of the year before he signed his mega contract. And then Jalen Hurts, I don't know. Maybe people were searching him a lot because people were worrying about that knee injury. I don't know. I don't know why he was so searched this year. And then this one's pretty sad, but the top search people that were passed away. Matthew Perry from Friends passed away sadly. Tina Turner, Jerry Springer, Jimmy Buffett, and Sinead O'Connor. So yeah, those are the top 5 people that passed away. It was an interesting little set of lists there. Let me know how you guys feel about that. Let me know if you would have changed anybody. This was an interesting list, man. 2023, it's like a lot of people. A lot of stuff happened in 2023, but it's like a lot of recent stuff are on these lists. It's kind of crazy. Maybe at the beginning of the year, we were in a kind of lull period coming out of COVID and everything kind of getting back together. So, but I just feel like if that was the case, we would be searching stuff more. I don't know. Very, very interesting. But yeah, that's everything I got for the pod today, man. Went through a lot of topics. Tried to make this one a quick one because I know the holidays are afoot. You're with everybody. Everybody is with you. You want to spend time with them, get some activities going. But again, of course, if you guys want to just chill, you know what I'm saying, play some games, you can put this on in the background. Just let everybody know it's episode 191. You feel me? But yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody. Again, go reach out to somebody. Just make sure they're doing good during the holidays. Check on your strong friend. Again, if you are getting gifts for people, bless your heart. If you're not, don't feel bad. You know what I'm saying? Times are hard right now, especially financially. Gas prices are hard, inflation, all that stuff. Rent, you know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff is tough this year. So let's make it about family and about, getting together. If you can afford gifts and you can give people gifts, big on you, but don't be trying to expect everything back. You know what I'm saying? Hold expectations down to a minimum this year. Let's just make it more about loving and getting together and seeing your family and friends. You feel me? But again, it's the Best of Bias Podcast, episode 191. This is the end of the podcast where I like to let them know where you can find me at. Of course, you can find your boy at SAC_Lydell on the Instagram, Patrick_Lydell on the Snapchat. Anywhere you can find the podcast, or if you want to find me on X, you can find Patrick Lydell on there too. And then on TikTok as well, the Best of Bias Podcast. You can find it on there. I switched my personal TikTok to the Best of Bias, so we're both one there. I know on Instagram we have 2 different ones, but on TikTok it's just all for the pod. Of course on YouTube, go ahead and add likes, subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss any podcasts. Best of Bias on there. Thank you again, AKA, for all the videos. Of course, I think we're at 200. We have to be at 200 videos by now. Plenty of clips out there. If you don't want to watch the full episode, check out clips of the pod. Timestamps, I know I've been kind of slacking on those. But I'm just pushing out content for y'all and just hoping that y'all watch the whole episode, or you guys can fast forward and just kind of look at the topics in order and just kind of fast forward if you need to and just get to the stuff you want to hear. But just to play in general, just watching the video in general, I appreciate it. Everybody that watched the videos, again, hit that like, subscribe, leave a comment down there, no matter what it is. Good comment, bad comment. Either way, it's constructive criticism. I'll take it into mind. Unless you're talking real shit, then I might have to get back at you. But if not, just come on. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know who you want on the pod. I could oblige. I'll have them and hit them up and let them know that I want to put them on the pod. You need Wiz Khalifa, you need Chris Brown. I'm just playing. If you need any of the guests that you've seen commonly on the pod, I can reach out to them. We can have that podcast. We can have certain topics of tournaments we have on there. Anime Kumite tournament 1 and 2. Go check those out. Me and AKA went back and forth seeing who would win in a tournament if they fought it out. Anime main characters and anime side characters. We still got to do our rap one. We still got to do we should have did one for holiday foods, but there's plenty of content. Of course, we're not just talking pop culture. We're not just talking sports. We talk everything on this pod. So plenty of content coming and plenty of content over there on the YouTube page. Like, again, subscribe, tell your friends about it. And the podcast is on Instagram. So check it out, and TikTok. Best of Bias Podcast. You see Growly, you see him up there, you know exactly where you need to be. And of course, for the podcast, you can find the podcast anywhere you find your favorite podcast: Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor. Anchor is Spotify now, but just type in the Best of Bias Podcast and you'll find us. The Best of Bias Podcast. So you guys are here from way before. We have episodes 1 through 98 on Best of Bias, the Best of Bias podcast. And then we have episodes 99 through, what are we on, 191 now? All those episodes are on Best of Bias podcast. On the Best of Bias podcast, you'll see me and Hugo Twilight kind of pointing at the camera. You'll see me, you'll recognize me on that thing. But that only goes to episodes 1 to 98. And some of those catalogs may have been kind of tampered with a little bit. It may have been messed up, but all the common stuff and all the stuff you need to hear that's current is episodes 98, 99 through 191, and that's all on Best of Bias podcast. You'll see again Growly's face on there. Click on that and you'll hear this lovely voice. Again, leave comments on here as well. If you're on Apple, leave some 5-star comments on there and let us know how we doing. Again, if we get a whole like 200 5-star reviews, we can be movie critics. And me and AKA, me and Damo, me and Ant come on here and review shows and TV and movies all the time. So if we can get that accredited and be actual movie critics, we can actually add some more coin about that and some coin there. But yeah, again, look out for all the stuff we have coming through Best of Bias podcast. We have comics, we got cartoons, podcasts, all kinds of new stuff coming. Homies coming to participate, homies coming to voice their own characters in the cartoons. It's a whole bunch of stuff. I don't want to give it away all right now, but 2024 is going to be a good year for this podcast. But for now, it's your boy Lydell Dinero, and I'm going to have to let y'all go. Happy holidays. Episode 199 is in the book. 199. 191 is in the books. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. All right, then. Yeah.
It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to unite us. It's the best of bias. Best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias.